Well, hello there everyone, welcome to another YouTube video here on the channel. My name is Emily. Today we are on the Penzance route, West Cornwall local. Until we're driving train 1 Alpha 1, the mail train from here at Penzance, heading towards Paddington. We'll be in charge of the train as far as St Austell. So I'll close the door, I'll turn the change end lever on. I have struggled to make the AWS work in this cab. So I do believe that, unfortunately, this is an issue with the train itself. That's fine. We can live without it. As we're a mail train, we have very high priority, so we should get, we should be able to run ahead. I'll turn my instrument lights on. Sorry. Turn the master key, reverse it, goes forward. Brake goes to release. As soon as the brake gets to about 5%, we've got the right of way, got the green signal, so we can take power quite easily and just move away very slowly. There we go, await the races. So it's a start speed limit today, 15 miles per hour. And we'll accelerate away to that. You can see these are Midland region coaches. So, fun little fact for you about BR. You see the coach numbers there? M stands for Midland, E stands for Eastern, W stands for Western. I think Midland region would have been West Coast Main Line. But obviously coaches can, within reason get anywhere really, can't they? So, if they're not part of the multiple unit. So you can see it's a 15 departing. So just accelerate as quickly as we can. Of course, I'm doing today's video with the Class 47 as the Dovetail have finally incorporated livery support, so it's not just all BR blue, which is really nice to see. It means you get some variety in the rolling stock that we do see today, which I always like. Unfortunately, the Class 150s, they would have only appeared in this livery at this stage, because these would have been quite new units that were rolling past. That's regional rail, so maybe provincial I could have got on there as well, but apart from that, not really a mass amount that could be done. So we accelerate to 70 at the end of the next bridge. So I'm just going to coast it for right now, and then we'll rag it and get up to 70. So a couple of stats about the train. We've got Class 47 in charge of 10 Mark 1 coaches, weighing 427 tonnes, and the train's about 200 yards long. So I really love the large logo livery, and I kind of wish we'd had it from the off, but I understand why we didn't. So what we'll do is we'll let we'll give it a 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, and then we'll just notch up the power. About 3/4 of go-go juice, and we'll get going. So our next speed restriction is the 70 miles an hour, increasing up to 75 after the end of Long Rock Depot. Total distance of today's route, by the way, we are non-stop from here to St Austell, and St Austell is at 39.9 miles away, so just shy of 40. So you've got the 37 in the sidings there. That's probably supposed to be a Network Rail livery on it. I should have got rid of that, and I thought I did, but oh well. I'm just going to roll and open her wide up. There we go. So, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Mine's been alright. I was actually supposed to be going to SunnyCon today. Being the dingus that I am, I, of course, bought the wrong tickets, so I'm going tomorrow instead. And I messaged with one of my friends and I was like, hey, I did a silly, I'm sorry, is it okay if we go tomorrow? She was like, yeah, it's fine, which is always nice. So, as we leave Penzance on the left, that's Long Rock Depot. On the right, I'm going to say that's St Michael's Mount. If it is... St Michael's Mount! Okay, there's another 37 and some more coaches. Not sure why that's got a motion blur effect, lol. That is St Michael's Mount over there. Oh yeah. My landmark skills are second to none. And then you can see the 75 as we come off the single track section. This is all single track to this day, by the way, which is always interesting to realise. You know, you always think of all the mainline routes, really. Now, I would consider Penzance a mainline destination as being double tracked, but large sections of the Highland Main Line are single track, and large sections of the well, this technically isn't the Great Western, but the Cornish Main Line. So that's 65. We're going for 75. We actually start ragging it up a hill within a second, and that is what's causing the what causes the speed to not increase as rapidly. A 47 is a really powerful loco. It can pull this up a hill if it wanted to, but just owing to the you know, that, yeah, like I say, owing to that, it's going to struggle slightly. I'm going to say the 47, I think, I'm not sure why I didn't ever like driving it in the base game, and I'm not sure what it is about it, but I always prefer 37. And I think the 47's generally within TS, that isn't a particularly amazing one. You know, like what we need is a 47 done to the standard of AP's 37, which I'm aware of some issues with that loco in terms of realism. For example, when you turn the master key, it turns the wrong way, which I find entirely hilarious. But apart from that, you know, it's a pretty good model. So, yeah. Any hoozle. So, the other fun thing about the East Coast Main Line today is yesterday a lorry landed on it, which was rather inconvenient. And as far as we're aware, no trains north of Newcastle until 1200 today. Yikes. Yeah, so that AWS didn't ding, which it should have. So I'm not sure if the AWS hasn't been implemented for this loco, but yeah. So we can do a quick cab tour of the Class 47. Class 47 is a dual brake locomotive, so there's both air brake and vac brake systems, and we can sort of work through those from you know, as we talk about the cab. So up here you've got your AWS Sunflower. It doesn't seem to be simulated. You've then got your emergency brake valve down there, your train brake, your loco brake, your AWS reset switch, your horn, engine start stop. I'm just focusing on the stuff that is simulated. Windscreen wipers, screen dimmer which isn't, throttle, and I'm going to ease power off because we've rolled on the downhill section. And this is St Earth. The speedo on this train definitely trends a few miles an hour lower, don't worry. St Earth station. There we go. So I just keep, now that we're rolling down a hill, I'm going to let the train coast. And yeah, we do have to slow down soon. So the stations we passed through today are St Earth, Hale, Camborne, Redruth, Truro, and we passed Bungalow, which is just before St Austell. So we've now got about 0.6 miles to slow down to the 45. So let's just do some really gentle braking and we'll get the train slowed down. You can see the speed rolls off really quickly, but at 70 miles an hour you've got about 30 seconds to get the train slowed down. So I'll take that a bit more brake application in now. I've got to say, when you play with the weather a bit, this route is alright. Like, I didn't like it initially at launch, and I still don't like the 150. But this part of the route itself, I find bearable now. I am using the revamp pack, which I know changes a lot to it, and yeah, it needs that, you know, but that makes it a bearable route now. I always sort of felt like this route was very under-detailed compared to some of the other routes. But no, it's good so far. So I'm going to actually put the power back on because the speed limit increases to 60 leaving. Fun fact, see the stop markers on the left there? These are actually IET stop markers, as far as I'm aware. No, they're not. Interesting. That might be part of the retexture, but I swear I saw some IET stop markers on this route before. And that is very strange. So I've got the throttle wide open. Oh, accelerating towards 60 miles an hour. But well, we're not really accelerating because it's a really steep incline. It's a 1 in 79, which you can sort of appreciate that the loco would struggle to accelerate climbing up this. Now we'll just do that. Close the windows. We don't need them open. But yeah, the windows are simulated. So sorry, going back to my cab tour that I was doing before. You've got your main reservoir pressure. To the right of that, you've then got which is your air, like the actual reservoir of air pressure that you use. You've then got your brake cylinder pressure, which shows how much you're applying the brakes. You've then got your vacuum chamber and vacuum brake pipe. So this sort of shows how much vacuum you have available. At the moment it's saying 0 because we're in air brake mode. To the right of that, you have the speedometer, in miles an hour, I guess. To the right of that, you've got your brake pipe pressure. To the right of that, you've got your ammeter, so you can see the name of the game is to stay out of the amber band. We're ever so slightly into it, not enough to wreck the engine, so I'm just leaving it like that for now. To the right of that, you've got your steam heat pressure, because this loco obviously is capable of providing steam heating. Over there, that's your light switches. To the left of that, sorry, you've got your throttle and 4-step reverser, and that is the Class 47 cab. So over on the back panel, that is changeable, but not in this end of the train. Got your handbrake, your track circuit operating clips, which are always handy to have. So I don't say my apologies, you can change it over. That's the brake system changeover. And then this is some of the safety systems, but so this is the AWS lever, and this is, I believe, the DSD, but neither appear to be simulated at the moment, unless that's the DSD. Oh, nice, like that. I completely forgot that was up there. Shows how difficult it is to remember everything about every loco. Especially ones you don't drive very often. And my headlights should have been on, not sure why they turned themselves off. So coming up on the 60 limit. So at 0.8 miles after this W board, we have a 60 limit, and that is approaching Camborne Station. No, my apologies, would be the second one. Lol, there's two. How inconvenient is that, eh? So there you go, you can see them up with board here now, so we'll take that into consideration. Let the train accelerate slightly. What I'll actually do is I'll just take the power out, since we've not actually made it up to 60 yet. I'll let the train accelerate to, since we've not made it past 50 yet. I'll leave the power in, and then coast beyond that point. There we go. about 3/4 power on, so about notch 3. Just so that we don't lose too much speed. But that is the 50 limit. And there's the 60 limit again going past it, off the power, on the brake. So the Great Western Main Line between London and Bristol is known as Brunel's billiard table because of how flat it is. I propose that the West Cornish Main Line, or the Cornish Main Line, is referred to as Brunel's roller coaster because there is scarcely a flat bit on it. There was a 60, so I'll put full power on again. Rag the loco up towards 60. And then our next station is Camborne. That we'll see. Got some sheepsies down there. Okay, I'm just going to do a cheeky little jump cut. Alrighty folks, just like that, we're back. You would have seen nothing or suspected nothing. No, I do apologise for the jump cut there. So, yeah. Any hoozles? They're rocking around down the hill. You can see we're going straight back uphill again. Like I say, it's absolutely crazy, this section of the route. Also, rather hilarious, I'm going to the convention. I just noticed the map on Facebook to where they are points to the Sunderland Empire Theatre, not to St James's Park in Newcastle. I assure you, they are two very different locations. I'm just going to grab a sip of my drink whilst we're driving up here. Talking continuously for a YouTube video and in the heat that we are currently experiencing is just take a sip of drink, basically. And this will be Camborne Station. To be honest, I think as far as routes go, this is actually quite a good choice of route. And, you know, now that I've driven it with some different reskins and the enhanced scenery, I don't object to driving it. You know, in terms of, but what I struggle with for this route and a lot of TSW routes is replayability. What do I mean by that? Well, once I've driven a fast train from one end to the other, and a slow train from one end to the other, and then a freight train, and then done the branch line, okay, that's 4 runs I've done. That doesn't, in my opinion, change that much at that point. So I'm going to go power on. I might also go and meet Jeremy Corbyn tomorrow morning, which would be fun. But yeah, nah, I'm troublemaking enough already. So, as this is going to go a long way in the future, I might as well talk about this now. There are some pretty major cases of industrial action going on in the UK at the moment. Largely, it's over pay, conditions, and staffing of maintenance staff being cut. That's in very broad terms what it's over. Now, in terms of the British Railway, there are sort of 3 main unions. There are more that cover it, but 3 of the sort of primary ones. You've got ASLEF, who are the drivers' union. You've got RMT, who are the Rail Maritime and Transport Union. So they cover sort of a wide range of transport. What they sort of cover, though, is basically all of the operational rail staff, some of the ticket office staff, and some of the back office staff as well. And then you've got TSSA, who cover the sort of like the ticket office side of things and the back office staff. Now RMT has said, no, we're not happy with this, because they also cover things like the signallers, who work for Network Rail, who have said, no, this isn't right, which is entirely fair enough. And they have, there we go, so I'm just going to slow down, I'll take the power off, oops, got a bit quick there. And they have turned around and said, no, this doesn't fly with us. We think this isn't right. There we go, I'm just going to definitely put a part of the brake on now to get down to 40. And, you know, what we're going to go on strike, take strike action. Now, frankly, I am not, you know, I'm not going to give, well, I might as well give my position on it. I'm going to do everything short of that today. Oops. Oh well. Even though we're still slowing down, I'm letting my brake off because you can see we're dipping below 40, but it's fine. But like, so my point of view is pay-wise, in my current role, am I underpaid? Hell yes. Even my manager's manager admits that, which is good. I'm just going to check if this changed again. Yeah, so this has been retextured, I think. But I think in the originals, so this is Redruth Station. I'll be accelerated away from Redruth, but you know, so am I underpaid? Yes, I am. Do I feel strongly enough about that to go on strike? No. That's largely on the grounds of the fact that I know there's already a process in play to get my pay, well, my grades pay increased, which is good. You know, for what we do, we are massively underpaid. But you know, and that's not just compared to me saying I want more money. That's compared to the other roles in the industry and in the public sector. So, yeah. So I've got that. You know, so I'm going to abstain from the pay side of the debate, I guess. You know, overall, what's, you know, basically the terms that have been offered are, you don't get, you know, to a lot of the Network Rail side of things, from what I understand, are you won't get a pay rise, you'll be doing more night shifts, you'll be getting paid less to do them. Welcome to the modern railway. Which is a bit, you know, and I know that's obviously a bit, the tone won't be there, be that, but that is basically what's been said. Would I be happy if someone said that to me? Of course not. Sorry, I'm just scritching my foot. I'm now very confused as to what my line speed is. Let's check. Yep, it's higher. So I'm just driving like a pansy because I'm scared, but no, I'm fine. So, anyway, as I was saying, as I'm going to accelerate up to 60 now. You know, so I'm going to abstain from the pay side of things because that doesn't affect me directly. Therefore, I don't feel like and my pay is being increased already. So that's what makes me a bit biased on that view. However, in terms of the maintenance staff being cut, I'm completely dead-settedly against that. If I could afford to go on strike to demonstrate that, I would. Because, frankly, at the moment, the situation is that, you know, we've put a lot of effort into making the UK railway one of the safest railways in the world. Well, if we've done that, you know, what's the... I'm just going to blip the brake slightly, get us at 65 in this area. Good. That's what happens when you make incomplete notes. Let's keep the speed nice and low. So you've got what looks like some sort of mill over there on the right. 55. Well, I can keep accelerating, can't I? So anyway, as I was saying, sorry, we've put there's a lot of effort gone into making the UK railways the safest railways probably in the world. They'll probably like be one or two, because I can't think of anywhere that has the level of service the UK does. With the lack of accidents. If you think there's 5,000 trains a day, and between, in the last two fatal accidents we've had were Stonehaven and Grey Rig. Well, as much as both of those incidents were absolute tragedies and were preventable, there is, it is my considered opinion that, the fact that what we've done is, that is a pretty remarkable achievement, that we managed to go more than 10 years without a fatal rail accident. And when I say fatal, I mean fatal for a passenger on board. Of course, there have been people hit by trains and stuff, but I think that's something that we're working towards nullifying. But as soon as you have to put people around, on the track outside a train, which happens a lot, there is a risk there. So anyway, that's my considered opinion on it. Is, the pay situation, I feel like I'm biased. I know I am the lowest paid grade on within my company. I think. Give them a wave. That's a passenger train, obviously. So, I'm within my company, I think, but that's being changed, which is good. And I've sort of said, look, at the end of the day, what we're being told we're doing is substantially worse paying conditions. Also, basically the way I sort of look at pay is your responsibilities compared to the time you do them and all that kind of stuff. Well, we get paid exactly the same amount so we get paid 5,000 a year less, than a base pay for a host on board a train. Well, whilst their job is not as technically demanding as ours, they do a little bit more in the way of unsociable hours, and I wholeheartedly admit that. However, at the same time, we're there from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. We're doing complaints, we're doing all the inbound interactions. Anyway, I'm not going to express anything beyond that because it's really obvious to know who my company is, and I don't want, I've been doing my best to not get in trouble, basically, because I don't like getting in trouble. Okay, so I'm going to get us up to 60 and then coast, and then we'll be slowing down for Truro, I think. Jesus, this thing... This is what makes train driving quite hard, is... I'm up to 60, I'm off the power, I'm on the brake, I'm on the horns. Like, it's quite a combination. I just give a beep when I go past them. I'm not sure what the rulebook would have said in these days, but I know currently the rulebook says you give one tone. I think at such point blank range you give one tone, at longer range you give two. That's my opinion. So I'll coast again, because I think this is a downhill slog. Certainly feels like it. Just blip the brakes to help us slow down. So there we go. Now I've got to say I do enjoy like driving in TSW more now. I find TSW is more what I drive to relax. TS Classic is what I drive to feel like I'm driving a train and be serious about it. See, now this will be 2 down the southwest videos I've done in a while, and I know there's quite a bit of country between the Dawlish seawall and Penzance, but yeah, I did the ICA D-Wagon video quite recently. This just shows you how weird my scheduling is at the moment. I really need to do something in America, but I just can't be bothered. Problem is, like, American stuff, I wanted to do something for the 4th of July, and I just won't get the views that a British video would. And it's like, it's a cool idea, but I'm not going to achieve anything by doing it, give you an idea of where we are on the route, let's just have a quick look at a map. So we're approaching Truro now. So about sort of, you can see you get a lot of really tight stations in this section. This is the route that we drive. So you've got the diverging line to St Ives. We we're approaching Truro, and St Austell is our terminating point. If you look at that on a map, which is a bit less pretty because you've got some bits joining, bits leaving us. That's Truro there. So go back in the cab and we'll just do our best here. We're the best around. Let that brake off and just... Actually, you know what, no. I'm going to let that brake drag slightly in initial application. Because it's about holding us where we want to be, which is really handy. You'll notice I enabled the DSD and nothing's happened. Like, I believe the DSD on this loco, it might be if I get up, it'll slam the emergency brakes on. We'll test that when we look up, when we are wanting to stop, put it that way. Oh no, it is, yeah, so it does apply the brakes, it blips the brakes if the pedal is lifted. Which is entirely fair enough. So, but actually we won't be slowing down anyway, so for entering the tunnel it is 500 yards to a 30 limit. So what I'll do is I'll just hold the train in overcharge, which will, hopefully, okay, so let the brake, we'll put a bit more brake on, slow us down to 30 as we arrive into Truro. So that is the 37, another 37 over there. Got some ballast wagons, which honestly are really good. So we've got some sea cows and some turbots. As far as I'm aware, all British Rail ballast wagons, all sort of like maintenance of the way wagons, are named after sea creatures. So this is Truro. Just have a little look over. You can see you've got some of the 12-ton vans from North Trans-Pennine. A turbot here. So I think this orange is supposed to be like a Network Rail delivery that I've downloaded by accident. Oops. But you got some ties, yeah, like some sleepers in there. Put ballast in these. Uh-oh. I put too much brake on. That's a problem. So fun fact, you can see I'm using the tiniest amount of power, but it's generating more ramps and throwing me an amber band, which I'm trying not to avoid. So the reason it's doing that is there's a drag or resistance on the train from the brakes that are still releasing going down the train. And that brake timing, or that issue in terms of how long it takes the brakes to apply, is why you tend to find local haul trains are slower than multiple units. And I'm counting, so I know a Class 91 does 125, and that's technically local hauled. However, that does 125 with Mark IVs, and I believe that has the ability to apply brakes from the DVT end. Same for a HST. There are no other 125 trains within, in regular service that 125 capable trains that are capable of anything like that. So, yeah, always worth bearing in mind. So it's a 70 now that we're accelerating into, so I'll just keep power on and rock and roll. So, by the way, that's my talky bit for today's video, and I know this comes way too late after the strikes to explain what's actually happening, but yeah. But the strikes aren't about driver wages, so I know I'm circling back a long way now, but the strikes aren't actually about driver wages. It's about everyone else's wages. It's about the guys who are the lowest paid in the railway. And to be honest, would you accept £22,000 a year to be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Like I say, there are certain grades that are alternative. Well, there are grades that do the station staff who are there whenever the station's open, They're on about 21,000, yeah. Which, okay, it's more than I'm on, but still. Yeah. There we go. So not that far left to go now. You can see it's about. Bear in mind, that's Burnglow. That's an Oslo about there. But yeah, not that far to go now. I'll turn the cab light on for a bit. Brake off, so power off. And we'll just take a jab at brake now, again, to help us slow down. You know, one of the things I've not recorded videos for a while, but I've been moderating for a gentleman called Dad Rail on YouTube. And he makes this look so easy whilst talking, but whilst talking and driving is actually incredibly difficult. You know, because I'm talking, driving, and you're keeping an eye on my notes to know when my next break point is. It's so hot. Let that speed build up again. Yeah, so this weekend I've got Comic Con. Next weekend I'm at London Pride. Yeah, we'll see. So we'll put a bit of power on it, try and slowly accelerate up, and yeah. So we've got that 60 mop sport in mind. So we'll just keep it at 60 for now. I've completely misjudged parts driving this. Oh well. I'm not re-recording at this point, 38 minutes into a 45 minute video. So this is a go via point, so that's absolutely fine. So that would trigger the AWS because you've got a caution signal, and that caution is for a red that leads into a single track section. So that means that next signal's a danger, there's no other aspect for it to display. So I'm just going to put a really nice brake application on, get us down to about 30-35 until I can set the signal, and then make a decision from there. To reduce that brake application slightly. I'll release my brakes at about 37, 38, so about now. See the brakes coming off there. I'm trying in vain to peer ahead to green aspect so I can put the power back on and thrash away. So that could have been a danger aspect, that's why I was sharp on the brakes to get slowed down for it. So the AWS sunflower would have cleared. You get the ding, and you can see it's a green aspect. It gives us a chance to appreciate the Class 47 thrash for what it is. I'll mute the video, mute my audio and turn the 47 up now. There we go, and we are back. So, in the cab, or the class 47, we'll just keep an eye on the speed. Obviously, you saw the 65 we went past, so we know we'll go to accelerate for that now. We are climbing up a hill, so this will take a little while. You can see at one point in time, this area has been double tracked, but obviously it's been, that track's been lifted and is long gone. But there is always the space to put it back if we wanted to in the future. Which, to me, I personally think that if the track, the land the track's on isn't actively, going to be sold or redeveloped or anything like that, you should generally do your best, if possible, to leave the track in place. So it makes it easier to then rebuild the railway. Because that's one of the things we're seeing now. With a lot of the railways that will close during beaching cuts, we're trying to bring them back, but there's no place to put the line because the whole area has been developed on, which is really sad. But anyway, so yeah, like I say, I do really love the 47 livery. The 47 and BR, this large logo that we've got now, is just one of the greatest ones around, in my opinion. So we'll just keep thrashing it. We keep thrashing. Though we're thrashing. Keep the train just thrashing. Rawhide. No, I don't know why rawhide went in my head. But yeah, you can see we're right on the cusp of the amber band, which is fine. That AWS won't apply to us, so we can disregard that because there's nothing for it to apply to, as you can see looking ahead. It'll probably be for something facing this way. Yeah, that caution on the curve there, protecting the point work. The distance signal, sorry, is the correct term for me to use. So we've really not got that far to go now, about less than 10 miles total from that marker, so about 5 or 6 miles now. Which, especially once we get up to 65, will be no time at all. Yeah, I can see actually. I just noticed there was a bit of brake still in the cylinder, so I'll hold it to an overcharge to get rid of that. And we should see the speed creep up now. And we're levelling off as well, which is always going to be handy. You can see even the bridges are still they're double bridges, so there is the scope to put another train in there. Feels like the train's accelerating a lot now. So I've got the bit more the blur going past the windows. 10 miles an hour makes a whole difference to the sensation of speed. Just got a lump of brake in. There we go, because I accidentally deleted my notes there, which would have been awfully inconvenient. Sort of glad I didn't now. Rather. So I've got to say, I think the ETA, like the timed ETAs for this route, are incredibly generous. It says this is a 47-minute drive in the menu. I'd say it's about closer to 55. bit of brake. Get us down to about 60. Well, actually, I'll go to 60 because we're going down a hill. So I can go to 60, then brake off. Which will drop off by the time we hit 60, and then the train will accelerate back up. Gives you an idea where we are again. So that is a branch line up there, off to the sand pit, I believe it is, at Bungalow, where they get sand. It's always nice. And there's not, well, today, well, I say today, in the present day, there's a flow that takes a train from here to Dagenham Docks, and I believe it's either Sand or will get on board. I wonder what is the longest freight, like continuous freight run in the UK. I think that's path through basically, because I know you'll get stuff that'll start like, for example, Irvine to Dollins Moor. That has a break at Wembley, so that'll be pathed as like the ICAD wagons. That'll be pathed from from Irvine to Wembley, Wembley to Dollins Moor to Belgium. But I wonder what's the longest continuous freight journey in the UK. Because I suppose that'll be in terms of the time it takes. Also, why are we now at 40? You know, the longest timed run, but also the longest distance run. What I can, thinking out loud, probably the Bungalow to Dagenham will be pretty long. I suppose there are some sort of Felixstowe Moss Ends. That'll probably be a bit longer. That'll probably be one of the longest. So go to Felixstowe, down across the North London line, and then up to Moss End. It's an incredibly wasteful run, that, but yeah. The reason I say it's wasteful is it runs via the North London line. So to allow it to be done with electric traction, however, a lot of the time they run 66s on it because the electricity is that expensive. Which so over about 3 miles of that journey are done under wires, which is just crazy. So I'm just going to set up the train accelerate, we'll get up to 65 again, leave it there. I'm just going to push it into overcharge, so definitely dump out all the brake pressure. And yeah, we'll see where Teams chat at work. So I had annual leave booked, and I sort of said, look, to me, I'm not going on strike, but I'm keeping my annual leave because at the end of the day, I booked it, I'm entitled to it. This is Bungalow. So at the start of the sidings for Bungalow, it's about 2.2 miles to go until we arrive at St Austell. So I'm going to probably brake at the end of Bungalow down about 30-35 because it's quite a steep downslope to get to St Austell from here. It's a shame Bungalow isn't used a bit more. I'm just having a look around, so we're back on double track, which is always nice. Right, I said I was going to brake, so I am. Power off. I've got another caution signal, which means the next signal's a danger aspect, so yeah, definitely bring it down to 35 again. 35 is just a nice sort of safe speed. I mean, that red signal will be at the end of St Austell station, actually, so I'll just let that brake pressure out. Yeah. You can just coast for now. Remember, there's no such thing as driving a train too slowly. See the cooling fans in the roof there as well. So really that's the cooling fans, that's the actual exhaust. So we're driving from the number 2 end. You can see the sea down there, which is always gorgeous. I do want to do an Aberdeen to Penzance run one day, or a, you know, I do want to do a tip-to-tip run. That'll probably be one of my holidays next year, doing Wick to Penzance. I'll just do the sleeper. That's another thing I want to do. That's a bucket list item for me. So, one of the things I do in my job is I do delay repay claims. And this person had booked a ticket that took them from London Euston, from Euston to somewhere in Yorkshire via Edinburgh on the sleeper. And because there was a delay, they got the whole amount discounted to them. Right, I am going to slow my train down now and stop here. I've just had a really panicky message appear that, because I've got a calendar item for SunnyCon today, but my confirmation email from the that it says Saturday tickets, that is very panicky. And that will really annoy me if I've just basically cancelled a day out with my friend for no good reason. Okay, so we're going to draw the train to a stand here at the end. It's an Austell. And you can see we've got a red aspect, so we've got to stop here anyway. I think it's probably 40 miles from the end of the platform to the end of the platform, but anyhoozle. So, as we're stopping the train, I'm going to... Yes, it's 40 miles I drove this time. Pardon my burps there. So we'll return to free roam, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my train brake fully on and off into shutdown. That goes off. That gets turned. The headlights will stay on, and the engine will stay on. And we can just dismount the loco. And so we'll be along to take it forward shortly. So we'll just walk down the platform and call it a video there. So guys, thank you so very much for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Just to show you where we've driven today, by the way, we've driven from Penzance to St Austell. There is also the obviously there's the branches to Falmouth Docks, Newquay, Looe, and Gunners Lake, and the line through to Plymouth, and the rest of the country. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to climb onto one of the mail vans and ride through. It must just be empty vans we're taking back that have brought mail down through the night or something. Come on. There we go. So you can see these are BG coaches, which basically would have just been filled with sacks of mail. And away we go. You also got a little handbrake there for the guard. So BG stands for baggage guard. So baggage space and the guards compartment. BG. The other cool thing you can do is open this door and have a very terrifying view of the world. This is the number 1 end of the 47. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the weird ending to this video. Bye for now.